Hello. In this video, I'm going to talk about the first question to homework 6. So if you haven't already done it, I would urge you before watching this video, if you could please attempt to do question A in homework 6. Even though I've given you the answers to this question, I know this question from past years is a difficult one, so I thought I would spend a video going over it. So let's consider what's going on in this question. So nature is determining the value of a car. Nature represents the random forces of the universe. So essentially, like if you roll dice to see what happens, nature is what's rolling the dice. Nature is a randomization force. Nature's a player that doesn't have a payoff. So nature is just the random forces of the universe. So nature is going to determine the value of the car. It's just chance. And in this question, the car is either going to be of low, medium, or high quality. So it's either bad, okay, or great. Now, nature tells her choice to player 2, who is the owner. So this is the equivalent of the games we played in class, where player 2 would roll the die, but keep the die roll secret. She knows what it is, but she's not allowed to tell the other player. Now, player one wants to buy the car. Player 1 does not know what nature did. But whenever you have nature, one player usually is going to know what nature did. Maybe not, but usually. But the other players will know the probabilities. So player 1 knows the probabilities, and since there's an equal chance of the car being of low, medium, or high quality, player 1 knows that there's a 1/3 chance the car is of low quality, a 1/3 chance that the car is of medium quality, and a 1/3 chance that the car is of high quality. So then remember I talked about in class how when players negotiate, if I don't give you a structure for negotiation, I really don't know what's going to happen in most cases. And in class we did a very specific structure of negotiation for a take it or leave it offer. And that's where one player can say, I'm going to make you an offer, and then you either accept it or reject it. And if you reject it, that's it. There's no further negotiation. If I offer to buy it for, say, $500, you can't say, no, I'd rather a penny difference. That's not allowed in this game. In question A, it's slightly more restricted than take it or leave it offer. It's a take it or leave it offer, but player 1 is limited in what offer she's capable of making. So for whatever reason in this question, player 1 has to make a take it or leave it offer, and it could only be for 10, 12, 14, 20, or 30. So player 1's strategy consists of one of 5 possible moves to make a take it or leave it offer for either 10, 12, 14, 20, or 30. And then player 2, who is the owner, her strategies are either to say accept or reject. If she says reject, everyone gets 0. If she says accept, then player 1, who is the potential buyer, her payoff is the actual value of the car, and she'll find out what nature did to the car, minus how much she paid. Player 2's payoff is going to be how much the car is worth. Player 2's payoff is going to be how much player 2 gets for the car, minus how much the car is worth to player 2. So to solve for this game, we need to go through the 5 possible strategies that player 1 has combined with the 2 possible strategies that player 2 has. And remember, for all games, it's always easier to solve backwards. So we can solve backwards by saying, hey, when would player 2 accept or reject an offer? And that's going to depend on what player 2's private information did. So if you didn't take a crack, or you don't think you got the right answer to the game, now that I've given you some hints, why don't you try and work on this game? Okay, so to solve for this game, first step is to figure out, well, when is player 2, the owner, going to accept an offer, and when is she going to reject an offer? Well, remember, you're made a take it or leave an offer for an object. If you're offered more for the object than it's worth, you accept, right? If you have something worth $12 to you, someone offers to buy it for $13, you accept. Easy decision. But, if someone offers you less, you reject. So that means if the car is of low quality, and remember, we're looking at whether player 2 would accept or reject an offer. So if the car is of low quality, player 2 will accept any offer greater than 9, and all of these offers are greater than 9. So if the car is of low quality, player 2 always accepts. If the car is of medium quality, player 2 will say, well, I'm going to accept if the offer is more than 19, that's 20 or 30, and I'll reject otherwise. And if the car is of high quality, player 2 will say, well, I will accept if the offer is more than that, 30, and if it's less, any of the others, I'm going to reject. So now when player 1 makes her offer, what player 1 will do is take into account whether the offer will be accepted or rejected. And the key to this game here is actually adverse selection. Remember, adverse selection is when the person, people who most want to interact with you are the people you least want to interact with. That translates into this game in that, you're player 1, you make an offer. Ideally, you'd like to say, hey, if the car's of high quality, it's going to be more likely to accept it than if it's of low quality. But it's the reverse, right? For any given offer, the owner's going to be more into accepting it. The lower the quality of the car, the less that you would like the owner to be willing to accept it. So player 1, when making an offer, has to take into account adverse selection. And the way we're going to solve this game is for each offer, we're going to look at what player 1's expected payoff is. Remember, we're assuming in this class that everyone cares about their average payoff. So when player 1 makes an offer, player 1 knows there's a 1/3 chance the car is of low quality, a 1/3 chance the car is of medium quality, and a 1/3 chance the car is of high quality. So for each offer, you figure out what's my payoff in each of those 3 situations. What would it be? Then, each are given a 1/3 weight, so equal weight, and then you see for which offer you get the highest average payoff. So let me now put up the answers, which again, these are on Moodle, so you should all have them if it's hard to read on the screen. Give me while I just adjust. Yeah, I think. Okay, hopefully you can read that. And again, if you have trouble reading this, you should be able to, again, you can just look at the document on Moodle. So player 1 will say, okay, I've a bunch of offers I can make. Let's go through all of them. If I offer to buy the car for $10, right? We're right here now. Well, who's going to accept? It only gets accepted if the car's of low quality, because if you offer to buy it for 10, remember, player 2 is only going to accept if the car is worth less to him than 10. So we say, well, look, I'll accept here. But if your car is a medium quality, it's worth 19 to player 2, he's not going to accept an offer of 10. And if the car's of high quality, player 2 is, of course, not going to accept an offer of 10 when it's worth 29. So player 1 knows if I offer to buy the car for $10, it'll only be accepted if the car is of low quality. So this first thing here, if the offer is of $10, there's a 1/3 chance the car is of low quality. And if the car is of low quality and you offer to buy it for 10, well, you've gotten a car worth 11 to you, you're player 1, and you've only paid 10 for it. But there's a 1/3 chance the car is of medium quality and the offer will be rejected. And if the offer is rejected, everyone gets 0. And there's a 1/3 chance the car is of high quality, and if you offer 10, that offer will be rejected and you get 0. So then we work out what's 1/3 of this plus 1/3 of this plus 1/3 of this, and it's 0.3333. And, well, that's your payoff if you offer 10. Now we got to go through the other choices. What if you offer 12? Well, if you offer to buy the car for 12, remember, player 2 is only going to accept it if he values it at less than what you offer. So accepted, rejected, rejected. So if you offer to buy the car for 12, it's only going to be accepted if the car is of low quality. So right away we know, player 1, you do not want to offer 12. You offer 10, it will be accepted if and only if the car is of low quality. You offer 12, it will be accepted if and only if the car is of low quality. So of course you'd rather offer 10. But I'll just go through the math anyway. So you offer to buy the car for 12. Well, if the offer is accepted, you've paid 12 for something worth 11 to you, so there's a 1/3 chance that you're going to lose 1, and then the other two situations, the offer is rejected, so your payoff is negative 0.3333. Okay, now what if you offer 14? Well, it turns out if you offer 14, again, the offer is only going to be accepted if the car is of low quality, because 14 is still below how much the car is worth to the owner if it's of medium or high quality. So obviously, it's stupid to offer to buy the car for 14 when you could have for 10. On an exam, you wouldn't even needed to check these two possibilities. They're dumb. But, we can work through the math. You offered to buy the car for 14. If the car is of low quality, you would have gotten a car worth 11 to you, but you would have paid 14 for it. And then the other two situations, you get nothing. The offer is rejected. So, your payoff, it turns out here, is -1. Now, if you offer to buy the car for 20, when does it get accepted? Well, it'll be accepted if the car is of low quality, and it'll be accepted if the car is of medium quality. If the car is of high quality, it will be rejected, right? And this is too bad. You most want the offer to be accepted if the car is of high quality, but the high quality person is the only one who's not going to accept the offer. Oh well, such as adverse selection. So let's work out the math now. You offer 20. There's a 1/3 chance the car is worth 11 to you, right? This 11, and you paid 20 for it. And there's a 1/3 chance the car is worth 25 to you, and you paid 20 for it. And then there's a 1/3 chance that the offer is rejected and you get nothing, and that works out to be -1.3333. Okay, so that's your payoff if you offer 20. Finally, what if you offer 30? Well, you offer to buy the car for 30. It will always be accepted because player 2 will always value the car at less than 30, no matter what nature does. So we know right away you offer to buy the car for 30, the offer will definitely be accepted. But there's a 1/3 chance the car's of low quality, a 1/3 chance the car's of medium quality, and a 1/3 chance the car's of high quality. So if you offer to buy the car for 30, 1/3 chance you've paid 30 for something worth 11 to you, 1/3 chance you've paid 30 for something worth 25 to you, and a 1/3 chance you've paid 30 for something worth 31 to you, and that comes out to -7.66. So it turns out in this game, the best you can do is offer to buy the car for 10. By the way, in this game, because I limited the offers, there was never a situation in which the owner was indifferent to accepting and rejecting. So remember, I've just made the simplifying assumption that if the owner is indifferent to accepting or rejecting, we're just going to assume that the owner will accept the offer. Thank you.